grabbed the first one. I gotta grab the first one and this one too. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're back to get very, very nerdy with TBR. So I thought that this year in 2020 what I would do is create TBR videos. Now it's not something that I've ever done beyond like a readathon TBR, but in the last year I have really gotten into like writing down TBRs. So with the TBR jars that I am doing this year, I figured that this would be a great chance to do that instead of in like wrap-ups that are already ridiculously long. And if I can come up with a fun way to do these videos, then I will, but this is what I've got so far. So I think we're just going to get right into it and talk about the books that I want to read in January. So the first book that I want to read this month is the third in the series of Unfortunate Events, The Wide Window. This is the series that I am rereading with Serena from A Wandering Mind, and we read the first two last year, so this is the third in the series, and from what I remember, this is my least favorite one, and I don't know why, but it's not super long. It's just kind of like the first two, and I might be wrong when I get into it. So I'm excited to kind of continue this series. If you do not know the plot of the series of Unfortunate Events, it follows these three orphans, the Baudelaire orphans, and this evil guy named Count Olaf who is somehow related to them, and like I'm still not 100% sure how that works, but he is trying to steal their fortune in any way that he can, and so they kind of like hop from like new relative to live with like each book. I'm just not realizing that I have a really good amount of middle grade this month. The next one is one that I am so excited about, and that is The School for Good and Evil, A World Without Princes. This is the sequel in the School for Good and Evil series. I read the first one in November last year, and it was my favorite book of 2019. And I just want to go back into this world. I am so excited. But like, I would love to get to the series before the middle of the year because the sixth one is coming out then. And I'd love to like be caught up before it comes out. And I think I can do it because there's only like 4 books that I haven't read. But this is the next one and I am stoked. This is the sequel, so like I don't want to tell you a lot about what this one's about, but the first one follows 2 friends, Sophie and Agatha, who go to the School for Good and Evil, and they end up going to the opposite school that they think they should be going to, and chaos ensues, and it is beautiful, and I am so intrigued by this book. Because, like, what's going to happen next? I don't know, and I need to know. The next middle grade on this list is also a sequel, and that is Scent. This is the second in the Missing series. I read the first one in December. It was one of the books that my husband picked for me. He really, really enjoyed it, and he's read the first 2. And, like, I just need answers. Like, I can't even describe to you what this book is about because, like, I'm still not sure. It's just, it, like, makes your brain hurt. But basically, the first one follows these 2 boys who are friends, and one of them gets a letter in the mail that says you are one of the missing, and he's adopted. So there's like a whole plot line there, and then his best friend who didn't know he was adopted also gets a letter in the mail, and they just start looking for answers. And this is the next one in the series, but like I need answers. The next one is technically I think also a middle grade, but like I feel like this isn't, like I wouldn't categorize this as one, but whatever. And that is Little Women by Louise May Alcott. This is one, like, I know the story really, really well, but I've never actually read this book, and with the new movie that came out at Christmas, it's, like, sparked my interest, and it's one that I've been wanting to read for a very, very long time, but it's, like, not a thin book. And, like, look at this font. It's, like, teeny, but, like, this font is tiny, so this is going to take a while to get through, but just like recently I've just been really wanting to read it, and a lot of people really, really enjoy this book. So like I want to know, like I want to read this before I go see the movie is really where I'm at. The next one is one that I'm honestly surprised I've waited this long to read. It took a lot of effort. But that is The Queen of Nothing. This is the third in the Folk of Air series, the third and final book. And I really wanted to read it in December because it looks like it's got like icy stuff going on here. But like, I need to know. I felt like it was appropriate to read this in a winter season with all of the snowy stuff that's happening, but also like, I need to know what's happening in this book. This is the third, like I said, in the series, the first one being The Cruel Prince, and that one follows a girl named Jude who is human, and she and her sisters who used to live in the human world are brought into the fairy world, and the fae don't like humans, and she wants to prove her worth, basically, and there's so much political stuff in these books, but like, it's really interesting. And I love it. And the last book on this TBR before we get to the TBR jars is my December Owl Crate. And this just sounded really interesting. But that is the Guinevere Deception. This is a kind of Arthur retelling, but from her point of view. It just sounds really, really interesting. And it's a book that I'd seen places, but like, I hadn't really thought much of it, and then when we got in the Owl Crate, I kind of read what it was about, and I was like, oh, that is interesting. So I thought that I would put it on this list, just because it looks super fun. It's not super thick. It's a good fantasy book, and I don't know, it just looks like it would be fun. I'd love to get it done soonish when it's still like a popular book. Isn't that just the thought? Read a book when it's popular. Who knew? I just thought I would put this on this list just in case I do get around to it. It is super shiny. Look at that. Oh! Now it is time for TBR jars. I am going to do my fiction jar first, so let me grab two out of here. This one. Alright, I hope I don't get anything too big this month. Like, that would be a great way to start. Two. Okay. The first one I picked is, what does this one say? Legendary Ladies. Oh, I love that one. Okay, that's a good one. And then the next one is the Greek. Oh, these are both really good. Okay, where is the other one? The first one that I picked up was Legendary Ladies by Ann Shin. This is a 50 Goddesses that empower and inspire you. And this is the author that did the book of Girls Who Change History, or something that I read last year. But it's just a bunch of like artwork and a little bit about all of these awesome people. Like, I love her art style. It's amazing. And this one is one that I've been wanting to get to for a very long time. That's exciting. Ooh. Ooh. And then the second one that I picked up was Greek Legends and Stories by M.V. Seton Williams. I love Greek mythology, like, a lot. So, like, this is just gonna be fun. It's kind of like, feels like a textbook a little bit. There's some, like, art in there, like, photographs, but, like, it's not super thick, and like I said, I love legends and stories, and, like, I'm not quite sure if this is just telling you them or telling you about them. Okay, so it's retelling. So in this volume, more than 50 of the Greek legends and stories are retold in modern English. Okay. This is going to be really hard. I don't know which one to choose. I think I'm going to go with Legendary Ladies, but, like, keep this one out because I'm really intrigued by this one as well. I might read both this month. But this one for sure. This one's going to be my, like, for sure pick. That was a really good first one. Okay, let's do the fiction book. You can't even see it. I don't know why I'm holding that up. Okay. I think I picked two. Oh, one. Then, the second one is here. Okay. The first one I picked up was The Kingdom. And then that's a sci-fi one. This one is... okay. And yeah, these are both right here. So the first one that I picked up was The Kingdom. This is by Jess Rothenberg. This is a sci-fi retelling of kind of like Disneyland, but it seems like it's a trial because there's kind of mixed media in here where you have like transcripts and then like just normal literary paragraphs. So this is a fun sci-fi one that I wanted to get to last year, and I almost started but didn't. And then the second one is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. This is one that I've definitely needed to get to. This one is the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide for Vice and Virtue. I don't really know what this one's about, but I know it follows Felicity, which is the brother of Monty, who was the main character in the first one. Actually, Felicity did show up in the first one as well. I'm conflicted. I think I'm going to go with The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy, because I really do need to get some more sequels done. And while this one is super interesting, this one's intriguing me a little bit more. Okay, so this is the pick for fiction that I'm going to do. How did this list get so long? How am I going to hold these up? So these are the books that I want to read this month. These are 9 books, which honestly, I can totally see myself doing, because like this one will take me a day to read. This one also will take me a day to read because it's really tiny. And this one I can definitely do on audiobook. That one I can do on audiobook. That one I can do on audiobook. Okay, so like, there's a possibility I could do this, you guys. But those are the books that I hope to maybe get to in January. What a TBR to start with. Let me know if you've heard of any of these books, if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned, what your thoughts are on them. I would love to chat with you down below. Or just tell me a book that you'd love to get to in January. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Who knew the struggle was going to be the non-fiction or not the fiction?